from beautiful, sunny Fairfield, Pennsylvania. We're heading into Gettysburg. Apparently there was, the government is shut down. I see a lot of doom and gloom predictions. So I brought my violin with me, and we're gonna go see. What does that mean when you come to Gettysburg? What's closed? What's open? Does your visitation really change that much? Maybe it does. I don't know. Let's go and find out. I don't know. As I understand it, the park. Well, I shouldn't say I understand it, but I did hear that the park doesn't know exactly what that means for them. I doubt that. I'm sure they know what it means for them. I'm sure different services will be curtailed and whatever. But let's see, what does it mean about your access to the park? You're already restricted access when it's open. What does that mean now that it's closed? So we'll drive through and see what we can see, which gates are closed, which gates are still open. Bill Gates, maybe he'll be sitting there, I don't know. Horatio, there are many gates. Good morning, Wonder Monkey. Good morning, Gene Hutchinson. How are you? Full day. It's like 64 degrees. Gates McFadden, that one, yep. Many gates, all over Gettysburg. Where will those gates be open? Where will they be closed? I'm going to try to we're going to go down the second and third day's battlefields, Confederate Avenue, as I don't believe there are any gates on the first day's battlefield. So we'll Culp's Hill has some gates. We'll see if those are closed. And as I understand it, they can only close roads that they own. So there's a lot of roads that go through the park that are not park roads by ownership. Eric says, nothing changes. Park is open. Visitor center. Only Eisenhower is closed and not ranger programs. The order I saw was for open air stuff to remain open. Well, but I saw a lot of people crying the blues. Doom and gloom and all this other stuff. Well, let's see. Let's see. Ty says, I heard they are putting up a toll gate like in Blazing Saddles. Somebody better go back and get a shitload of times. Back when the toll was a dime. That's before my time. Eric says gates will be open. Eric, you're grumpy lately. Let me have my fun. It would be great if, like, it's 64 degrees right now. If this were winter, how fantastic would that be? Debbie does not get to volunteer, she says. How will you make ends meet, Debbie? What will you do? Food kitchen or food pantry? How will you pay your bills? So that is what I heard. Sarcasm aside, I did hear that volunteer programs are suspended. What else did I hear? Law enforcement is not, obviously, that stays. What about like interpretive programs, things like that? What about park staff? What do we know about that? Debbie thinks she'll be fine on that part. Okay, good. Wouldn't want you to miss out on that volunteer income. Morning, Bill. How are you? 6 questions says my exam date is up in the air, depending on oh God, Mike. Oh, I swear to God, it's like every time you think you're close, right? You move out here to take the test. They kick the can down the road for 6 years. Finally take the test. You make it this far, shut down. No Ranger or living history programs, okay. Taylor says, good morning, Matt. Been binging AG for a week straight. You have my condolences and my thanks. So Gene says, so the shutdown is all 6 questions' fault. No, not his fault, Gene. It is another thing out of his control, pushing that license a little further down the road. Mikey's my friend, and he has dedicated the last 7-8 years of his life to getting this license, and I want him to get that more than probably. It's up there on the list of things I really want to see before the year is over. And I'm frustrated for him. Project Pass says, when can we film again? I'm going through withdrawals. Get your hand up here. Kevin says, Taylor gonna take a lot of weeks to see it all. Yeah, we have a lot of stuff to go through. Probably most of it's not good, but there's a couple of gems in there. Gene says 6Q is going to be an amazing LBG. I tend to agree with you on that one. I remember the first time Mike was, Mike used to, as you can go and listen, for many years, Mike would come in and sit in the peanut gallery on the show. And, I don't know if it was the first time he was on, but it wasn't very long before I started including him in the show. I would, go to him. He would have a question, of course, maybe 6 of them, or he would have something to add. And I knew then, I was like, this guy really knows what the hell he's talking about. And but now I'm most excited. First of all, very excited for people who can't figure out how to find him on Facebook, put you in touch with him when he does get his license so you can hire him. But also, I'm very excited to have him now as a actual guest on Ask a Guides as a guide. Actually, there's a few new guides who I'm looking forward to having on once they're ready. I've invited them already, but the stock answer is, let me get my footing first, and that's perfectly understandable. Eric says, I am grumpy. Too much negativity swirling around. Sorry for being the rain cloud. Block your sun. Eric, you could never be the rain cloud to block my sun. But I've noticed it, and you're another friend of mine, and I just figured you retired from all the world traveling you've been doing. But you're right, there's a lot of negativity swirling around, which is why I tune out. Doesn't do me any good. I'm pretty negative to begin with, and it took a lot for me to have a positive attitude, and that paid off for me. But now it's very hard to maintain that. Has been for the last couple years. So, driving with the windows open sure has helped this morning on a beauteous day like this. But that's temporary. Ty, that's funny. Mike is always pushing for the rights of the LBG 6Q community. You're a funny guy, Ty. You're a funny guy. Especially when you run like a schoolgirl from bees. Bill says 6Q's unprecedented run of bad luck continues. It needs to be studied. It really does. It really does. Taylor says, oh yeah, I've been listening and watching for years, but I get in these fits where that's the only thing I consume. I love to hear that. Because when I get into something, that's what I do. Like I become obsessed with, whether it was a band or a movie or whatever. I used to more so when I was younger, but I don't really have the time to obsess over things now except for work. But when I do, I consume it quite a bit. And I don't know if that's a sign of some kind of autism or some kind of mental something or other, or if it just means I really like it. I either way, I do it. And so to hear somebody else doing that, especially for my own thing, makes me feel not alone in the world as a psycho. And so that's nice, and I appreciate you doing that. That would explain the spike in views I've gotten. No, just kidding. Babber, good morning. The homesteading historian, good morning to you. Homesteading, that is something I wish I had the time to do. I think that's something that's becoming more and more important to do. But I just don't have the time. Let me angle the camera for you so you can see more of the battlefield. There's Big Round Top in the distance there. I want you to tell me it's time to come home. So I take it, of course, that doesn't, the shutdown doesn't affect licensed guides giving tours because they're not federal employees, and I've seen 2 tours so far. Back. Excuse me. Oh, there's a lot more comments here. Eric says, yeah, not looking for leaving for India on Friday. Looking forward to leaving on India. I will post a pic of the haze encircled over the Taj Mahal. Yes, please do. And good luck with the dysentery. Kevin says, Eric, I get grumpy too, but at my age it's expected. Lee says, we all have some sort of tism. I think we do. I think we do. A homesteading historian says it's a lot of projects. I know, that's why I don't have the time. I met some homesteaders once. I went into the mansion house in Fairfield to drop off a check, and oh damn it, I left my laptop at home. What did I do? Talking to them. Yes, I was talking to them, and they're local, and they have about the same amount of land we do, and they made themselves, gardening and all that stuff, and they come home from work and they work it. And they said it was a good bonding thing for them to do as a couple, but they, they've lost faith in things working out, and started saying, well, nobody's going to take care of me but myself. And that's my attitude. I just don't have the time to do it yet. I'm trying to make the time. Okay, let's get past this guy. Estella says, thank God for Little Ground Top Coffee, something positive in our lives. Yes, that is true, Estella. Little Ground Top Coffee will never let you down. And it is available through addressing gettysburg.com/cafe or stopping into Bantam Roasters. And now, the Ragged Edge. You can also get it at the Ragged Edge. It sells out every week at Bantam, which is great. They actually had to up the production from 12 to 18 pounds on the shelves every week. And those sold out just as quickly as the 12-pounders did. So that is nice. Taylor says, for me, lifelong obsession with the American Civil War. Yeah. Yes, sir. Oh, sorry, Taylor. I don't know if you're a sir or a ma'am. Taylor's one of those names that could go either way. So, if you're not a sir, I'm sorry I said sir. And Taylor says also, and you guys delivery over at AG feels like a warm conversation with an old friend. Well, thank you for that. We try to get that feeling across because we are all friends, and we all have fun doing the show. And well, except for the people who are in their 30s, we are old. It's mostly me and people older than me. So, it's friends. Kevin says, homesteading is a lot of work, but there's probably none more rewarding if you're into it. I agree. All right, now I'm going to give you a warning here. In order to find out what's if there's anything locked, I'll take Eric's word for it, but trust but verify. We're going to have to go down into the woods of despair, where we lose our cell signal at some point. So if we lose it, I will start a new one. So be on the lookout for that. And if you don't get a notification, just go to our page, our channel, and find it and join us when we get back in. Let me just go through all of the comments in case I lose you and I don't get to answer you. Babber says, I'm still very impressed with Matt's ability to drive and read his phone. I can't do it. I have special glasses that project the comments on the in my vision. Chris says, this is BS, didn't get a notification. Yeah, I don't get that. Maybe you haven't gotten it yet. Maybe the longer I go, you'll get one eventually. Gardening is excellent for mental health. So I hear. It's also probably good for your physical health as well. Jean says, Age of Today is a high point of my week. Very good, Gene. I don't know if you heard the last live I did, but in January they're going to Patreon exclusively. However, they will be free, so you don't need to pay to be to watch them. They'll be over there on our channel for free, but on Patreon. And that's because I did some research into how the algorithm works on YouTube, and AG today kind of confuses that. Let me move up here for this bus in case he wants to park behind me. There we go. Oh, no, he wants to keep going anyway. All right. Who you calling old? All of us, Estella. Taylor says I'm a dude. Okay, good. Eric says it would be interesting to know if the gates to the observation towers are open or closed. Well, we'll check that out on Culp's Hill. How's that? If we can get up to Culp's Hill, the gates to get there might be closed. Estella in their 30s is old? Huh. No. I'm saying they're the young ones, and then there's me, and then everybody above me. I'm almost halfway to my third set of 30s, and I feel, God. Oh. Debbie says Court drove past them. Okay, okay, good. All right, so they're open. All right, let's move forward here and let's see what we can get. Was that on Facebook, Debbie? And was that on my channel or his? Oh, you got a blur there. Hold on, let me try to. Why is that not focusing? Let me move her around here so she focuses better. Come on, baby. I ran a washer fluid. All right, well, hopefully it'll adjust at some point. Doobie doobie doo 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 doo. I hope the strobe effect that the trees are causing with the sun doesn't affect